Hey, what's up guys? This is Muddassir Hussain and you are tuned into Social Real Madrid. So on this podcast I want to do a roundup of that hugely important win over Rayo Vallecano last night. And then I want to touch upon the Eibar game at the weekend. So let's get straight to the game, shall we? It was a sort of a game that Barcelona won versus Celta. A proper workmanlike performance revealing credentials and professionalism. Let's praise Rayo, of course, for the brilliant display. Over the best part of, I feel, about 60 minutes, they were a real contest for Real Madrid. They made the midfield trio of Cruz, Modric and James really rush for possession. Let's just say that when a team makes a midfield trio of the quality of Cruz, Modric and James struggle in possession, you got to give credit where it's due. They were terrific last night. They set the tempo right from the outset and controlled the game for the first 60 minutes. Real Madrid were really struggling. BBC were hidden completely, and that's because in the engine room something was really wrong. They were all over the midfield, to be honest. Let's just look at some first half stats in the favour of Rayo. In terms of shots, Rayo had 11 shots to Real Madrid's 4. Passing accuracy 84% to Real Madrid's 80. And this one was really surprising for me at half time. Real Madrid had to make 16 clearances to Rayo's 1. There's the dominance there completely in Rayo's favour. 16 clearances Real Madrid had to make, and it's just as well Casillas and Ramos had a really important first half. They were really good throughout, but I think in the first half it was most important for them to be playing on top form. I think Casillas, I don't know how many saves in the first half he made, but overall he made 8 saves in the game. And that's more than he's made in any other competitive game this season. The last time Iker Casillas made more saves than 8 was 10 against Juventus, and that was in 2013. So there's a measure of Casillas' night. He had a really good game, and he proved his critics wrong. Particularly, I thought that save against Bueno's header, I think about 43rd minute of the game, after first half, a really good save. Let's face it, there were saves that a goalkeeper of this quality should be making. So we really shouldn't be surprised with Casillas anymore. But luckily he was there and he made these saves, because Real Madrid were in real trouble if he had one of his off nights, which he's been having quite often, really. But yeah, Rayo were terrific. But in the second half, I thought Ancelotti did well to change things up. Much more intensity, much more passion, and much more personality from Real Madrid in the second half. He sort of went to a 4-2-4, if you realised. Marcelo and Carvajal also were further up the pitch too. So plenty of opportunities were created because there were so many attacking players in the final third. It was a good change by Ancelotti, even though I was busy screaming at my television screen 4-4-2, to be honest. But he proved me wrong yet again. But 4-4-2 did happen in the end when Isco did come on. And as soon as he came on, you could see the control of the game switched hands, really. Real Madrid controlled the tempo as soon as Isco came on. And that's why Isco is more important than both Bale and James. Now, this isn't a bash at Bale and James, especially not James, because since coming back from injury, he's made 2 assists and played a crucial role last night as well with that goal. I'm not having a bash at them too, but I'm just saying Isco, when he's on the pitch, his sheer existence gives Real Madrid control. He can set the tempo of the game on his own. He's a class act, he really is, Isco. Now we have to talk about Cristiano Ronaldo's penalty claim and the other booking, which obviously will affect the Eibar game. Let's talk about Cristiano first. Absolutely absurd. You've all seen it. The vines all over Twitter now. Even Cristiano haters are admitting that it was a stonewall penalty. How could he see it? I think the referee was close to the halfway line when the challenge was made by the defender. Took his standing leg off when he cut back and he was just about to shoot at goal. Terrible refereeing performance. And I think this guy was named the best referee of last season or something like that by a panel. Absolutely ridiculous. He had a woeful night of refereeing. The latest on Cristiano's claim is that Real Madrid have put in a claim and they will appeal, but I doubt that it will be accepted and overturned. But yeah, obviously loads of bookings for Real Madrid in particular. Cristiano, Cruz and James. Carvajal I think also was booked amongst many others. Those three, Cruz, James and Cristiano, will be missing the Eibar game, so that brings me nicely onto that game. Let's just talk a bit about Eibar here, what Real Madrid would be up against. They're 14th in the league. They won their first game at the weekend, beating Malaga 1-0 at home. That was their first win since the 10th of January. So it shows really what Real Madrid are up against. Before this, they went on a poor run of 11 games, managing only 1 point out of a possible 33. The last meeting between the two sides was a 4-0 victory for Real Madrid. So the away record in 2015 has been particularly poor. 1 win, 4 losses and 2 draws, and they've only managed to score 4 goals out of those 7 games. So they don't score a lot, Eibar. I don't think Real Madrid will struggle too much, so I believe Ancelotti can afford to rotate for once. Expected lineups now for Real Madrid at the weekend. This is providing Cristiano's appeal is rejected and providing Bale is injured or rested. Obviously, Bale is feeling some discomfort in his ankle. I think Ancelotti should just rest him. He shouldn't risk him, but we'll see. But so this is providing Cristiano's appeal is rejected and Bale is rested or injured. So what I'd like to see is Casillas in goal. I'd like to see a 4-4-2 from the outset. More control. And they can just win easily 3 or 4-0. But Casillas in goal, Carvajal, Ramos, Varane, Coentrao, I want to see a left back. You'll see why in a second. Isco, Modric, Lucas Silva and Marcelo I want on left wing. Obviously you know by now, last podcast I said I want Marcelo playing further up the pitch. This is a perfect opportunity in Cristiano's absence. And obviously Benzema will retain his place, and I want Jesse Rodriguez to play next to Benzema in the 4-4-2. But what will probably happen is Casillas in goal, same back four as the one against Rayo, consisting of Carvajal, Varane, Ramos and Marcelo. He obviously trusts Lucas Silva more than Illarramendi, and I'm not surprised. So Lucas Silva will probably play with Isco and Modric in the central 3. Jesse out wide in Cristiano's position, Benzema up front retaining his position, and I think he's most likely going to stay and risk Gareth Bale. So yeah, that's a little preview of the Eibar game. That's all for this podcast. Thanks for tuning in. Please do leave any suggestions on how to improve these podcasts in the description below. Remember to like, share and subscribe. I've been Muddassir Hussain, and I'll catch you soon.